Hey everyone, Benny the Comicstorian here, and today we're going to be talking about Civil War II, where it currently stands, the delay situation, who is the actual villain, the tie-in situation, do I hate it or love it, or what do I like or dislike about it? But you may be wondering, hey, that camera's in a weird position, that's normally not where Comicstorian puts his camera. Well, I put it there because I was sent this box from Japan. It's from a Japanese proxy service called Japanese Buyer. I honestly God have no idea what's in here, so I'm just figured I would open it while talking to you guys, and I'll give you the link to Samurai Buyer down below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to, if you like the stuff that's in this box. But before we talk about Civil War II, I just want to remind you that if you're in the New York area this weekend, I'm going to be there with the rest of the weekly poll. We have a signing on Friday, a signing on Sunday, and we have a panel on Saturday. And if you're there, please come check it out. Our panel is at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and our signings is 1:30 at the Valiant booth on Friday, and then I have no idea where it is on Sunday. But if you follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, I'll tweet out the locations of everything, how you get there, what you do, that kind of a thing, and I'll also tweet out when we're going to do our meetup on Sunday, because we don't really know when it is going to happen yet, because we're not sure when we're free. But anyway, let's go ahead and open this up while I talk about the Civil War II event. So first up, Civil War II. What's the problem with Civil War II? Well, Civil War II is an event that came out obviously with the name to tie into the Marvel Civil War movie. And that's obviously, no way, they can say all they want that was not the intention of it, all they want, but there's no way you can fight against that. It's pretty obvious that that is what the purpose of the Civil War II titling was. The idea behind the event is that a new Inhuman has been discovered, and this new Inhuman has the ability to look into the future, and he can see events that are coming by. Now, using his visions, Captain Marvel has started a mission to go ahead and stop these crimes from happening ahead of the time. And Tony Stark says, we can't arrest people based on visions, looking into the future. We can't do that. That's not how this works. That, of course, has led to the current Civil War II fight. And yes, if you're thinking about it, it does sound exactly like the Minority Report comic book, Minority Report movie, because as a matter of fact, there's even a joke about that in the Miss Marvel comic book that I'm going to put on the screen right now, right over here. Hey look, now I got space, I can actually put things. And yes, that is it. Since the event has started, it appears to be ignoring a lot of the, I'm gonna cut my hand if I come at this angle. It appears to be ignoring a lot of the events that have happened in All New, All Different Marvel. Now, case in point, at issue 4 or 5 or somewhere in there, Bruce Banner was murdered because they thought he was gonna turn into the Hulk. But if you've been reading the Hulk, then you discover that Bruce Banner doesn't even have the ability to turn into the Hulk. And that was just something crazy that they thought was going to happen. This box does not have a top, for the record. There's literally, it must be like a sideways box, like here. It doesn't match up with the totally awesome Hulk, which personally I do like, but and a lot of people don't like him because of the, hey dude, I'm a surfer dude Hulk. Got it, whatever. So there's a lot of events that aren't lining up and they aren't making sense. And in Civil War II, the main event, it's basically just a lot of events happening where Captain Marvel is basically saying, no, I'm right, we're gonna do this is what I wanna do, making her a very unlikable character. Tony Stark is just fighting against her and finding out facts, and she's not listening to these facts, which is the biggest thing that makes you go, what is wrong with Carol? Why isn't she listening to his actual facts? Well, you know why she's not listening? Because we need to have the event happen for Civil War II. Now, at this point, you're all probably like, well, that sounds dumb, or that sounds great, or I'm enjoying it, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, oh, I got a Pikachu in a hat. The fact of the matter is, I know I just said that like 3 times, but the fact is, Civil War II has not been doing that great. If you look at sales right now, Civil War II is 100% losing out in the sales department to DC Rebirth, and part of that is because this event is just Minority Report. We don't care about it. The actual event is a cluster. It's a cluster. It's just a cluster of things going on. That's what it is. And because of that, whoa, he sent me a giant Pikachu thing from the Samurai Buyer website. That's cool. It's a good thing, isn't it? It's just a cluster. It's just, we don't know what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. The plot to this is something that happened in a movie a while ago, and you're like, I don't care. And if you watched our last episode of The Poll, our podcast where we talk about comic books that came out, you're sitting there and you heard me and everyone else in the Weekly Poll ranting about how we don't like this event because it's pointless, and all of the tie-ins are garbage, and they're doing nothing to promote the event. They're just telling the same story. Superhero finds out about something happening in the future. They go to try and stop the event from happening. Because of what they did, the event ends up happening, and then they side with Iron Man or Captain Marvel. And we were all like, like, what? What is this? This doesn't make any sense. It's pointless. And then, here's the kicker, guys. They've delayed Civil War 2. So it's supposed to be ending this month so they can kick up all new, all different Marvel. That's what's supposed to be happening. Whoa. This is gonna, I'm gonna look, this Bleach. I'm gonna open it up though, see what it is though. There you go. It's supposed to be ending right now. It really is. And we're like, why? Why is it still going? And they've delayed it until January. Well, here, and I will 100% put the guy's name on this video right here. It's gonna be above me right now. This guy on our podcast, which I upload to the Comic TD channel, which has become like a kind of like a dumping ground for all of the podcasts. I just put them all over there. Well, he put a comment on there that said he couldn't believe that we didn't read the current Steve Rogers Captain America issue, which I believe is issue 5. And I was like, why? What does it matter? At this point, Civil War 2 is so stretched out, so pointless, I don't care. You know why it was important to read that issue? Because that tie-in, with no indication, no cover markings, nothing indicating what it is, that issue explained the plot. And in the words of Sea Monster, one of our other hosts on the podcast, we found the plot. We found the plot to this event. And that was like, what? How did we find the plot to the event and in a tie-in where it doesn't even indicate it? So here's your spoilers. If you want to go read it yourself, go read Captain America, Steve Rogers Captain America 2, and then go check out Samurai Buyer and meet up with us at New York. If you don't care about, oh, it's a CD. Cool. Yeah, it's a CD for a Bleach soundtrack. And if you don't care about the spoilers, then I'm going to tell you what they are. The plot is simple. Steve Rogers, who is currently working for HYDRA due to the Cosmic Cube altering his history and making it so that he had joined HYDRA at a young age, has now decided that he's going to try to take HYDRA away from Red Skull. Red Skull feels that he's got Steve Rogers and is going to win this whole thing. And Steve Rogers, in fact, is going to basically, Steve Rogers wants to get rid of Red Skull because he feels like he can run HYDRA better. So the night that Ulysses found out about the event with the Celestials, he went ahead and came back to the party, and from what I read in the comic, he was going to try and kill every superhero there. As Captain HYDRA, he was going to try to win the entire event. That's what he was going to do. And then he heard about Ulysses, and then he went back and he decided that Ulysses is a problem because Ulysses is going to look into the future and find out that he is Captain HYDRA. And these are wet naps. This is Pikachu wet naps. This is the greatest thing ever. And so he's gonna be Captain HYDRA and Ulysses was gonna figure the whole thing out. So his plan was to find a way to figure out how Ulysses looks at the visions. And what him and his scientist had discovered is Ulysses prioritizes the bigger threats over the little threats. So he went ahead and staged everything, proving that Ulysses' visions can be manipulated. He is the proof that the entire event is being manipulated. So he went ahead and sent files and information to Bruce Banner showing how he could supposedly cure his Hulkism, which then gave the vision to Ulysses that he was gonna turn into the Hulk, which led to his death. And you're like, the whole thing has been orchestrated by Steve Rogers. And then if you read the issues more, Captain Marvel ends up stopping a woman because she feels that she is a HYDRA top agent, and in her briefcase is all the proof. There's nothing in the briefcase. And you're like, is this Captain Marvel starting to kind of like lose her mind? She doesn't know what's happening anymore? Are they untrustworthy? Yes! The visions are untrustworthy, guys. They 100% are. And because Steve Rogers staged the whole thing. He set up the whole thing. He's creating all of these events so that Ulysses will see the event and then Captain Marvel acts on them. That's exactly what is happening. That plot is so much better than Captain Marvel and Iron Man just fighting over facts when we discover that the whole thing is being orchestrated by Steve Rogers, Captain of HYDRA. And that issue ends on the cliffhanger right now because he saw the vision of himself being killed by Spider-Man. But now it makes sense why Spider-Man was killing Captain America. Because he's probably going to be revealed as the guy manipulating the visions. And if he manipulated the visions, then we know that it can be manipulated. And that's the problem with the event. It's like the story is so much better. But Marvel's not promoting that issue. Why? Why is it not even mentioned in the main storyline? You could very easily have Steve Rogers walk in and look very interested and be like, oh no, this is going to be a problem for my plans. Follow the adventures of Steve Rogers and Steve Rogers Captain America to find out what he's talking about. That would have been so easy, but instead they didn't do it. Instead, we got this story for Civil War 2 that is dragging on and getting delayed, and it just doesn't want to end. And as much as I love Marvel, I don't know what's going on, and all of the tie-ins Basically, they've made every tie-in, like half of them don't even tie into the actual event. Deadpool's event is, oh, I'm tied into Civil War, they're gonna fight over there, I'm gonna do my thing. Like, what? How is that a tie-in to the event? It doesn't make any sense. So then when you have a tie-in, when you have an actual tie-in that matters, that is important, like Steve Rogers, Captain America, you don't know to buy it. And what ended up happening last Thursday on the poll, me and everyone else on the podcast sat there and went through all of the comics, and we ended up ranting about Civil War because the fact that it didn't make any sense and the tie-ins didn't tie into it. We didn't even care about reading it. And it's because of one viewer who commented, you need to read Captain America, Steve Rogers to know what's going on, that I now understand the Civil War plot. And it's not just Minority Report. There's an entire thing going on with the Marvel Universe. And this is obviously going to lead into Marvel now. Like, this is why everything's going crazy. So that's it, guys. The villain of the entire event is Steve Rogers. Whether or not he's going to be revealed to everyone and that's going to lead to the next event, we don't know. Whether or not it's going to just be in his little tie-in and you're going to be like, oh, he orchestrated the whole thing. Well, now we're moving on. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next. But that's the villain of Civil War 2. It's Steve Rogers. That's who it is. So if you guys like the Japanese stuff, I'll link the Samurai Buyer website to you down below. You can go check it out. You can get, what they do is they buy stuff for you in Japan and then they send it to you. So that way you don't, you have to pay a little markup, but you get stuff directly from Japan that you probably won't get here. I'm pretty sure I would never find Wet Nut from Pikachu and this thing over here. But thank you guys so much for enjoying this video. I'm sorry it took so long to get to the Steve Rogers thing. It just felt very ranty of what's wrong with Civil War 2 and the villain behind it. I think that's the name of the video now. That is the name of the video right there. That's it. Thank you guys. Follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, and I'll see you very soon because I'm going to New York Comic Con and we're going to film a video entitled DC Rebirth or Marvel Civil War 2, Who Won the Summer? And that's that. So leave me in the comments down below who you felt won the summer. I'm going to put them into that video. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of this one. I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.